Today we're doing the quintessential Utah road trip, Scenic Highway 12. We've been here before, but I've never hiked Red Rock Canyon, or seen Devil's Garden, or Lower Calf Creek Falls for that matter. Today we're filling in the gaps, the adventures we've missed in previous trips. Bryce Canyon and Hell's Backbone, we tried, but here they have this thing called winter and snow. Anyway, the adventure begins now. I'm riding in my RV, wherever I want to be, 'cause I'm free in my RV, yeah. We're arriving at a small town called Panguitch, gateway to Bryce Canyon and some of the best scenery Utah has to offer. The plan today is to look for a suitable boondocking spot to spend the night, and there are a couple of dispersed camping areas right off the road, so we'll try those first. This is the beginning of Scenic Highway 12. There are a few services and lodging here as we approach the Pink Cliffs, which begin at the Red Canyon. Here's that first dispersed camping area. It is a little bit muddy, probably from snowmelt. Yeah, I don't think this is going to work. There's another one a little farther down the road. Yeah, this one is even worse. I mean, I don't think I'm gonna get stuck, but it is going to be a muddy mess. We're gonna have to go somewhere else. Let's put it on 4-low and turn around right here. And let me begin by saying we wouldn't mind paying for a campground. But the thing is, this early in the season and we're here in mid-March, they are all closed or snowed in, so our options are very limited. This one says no camping, and I don't know if just overnighting qualifies or how much it is enforced. But we're gonna keep on looking just in case. The visitor center is still closed for the season, and so is the campground. There's another campground here, but it seems to be closed. See the pattern? Tell you what, maybe we can park at the visitor center. Maybe tomorrow we can go for a little hike. Well, just had a quick sandwich. Wasn't in the mood for a culinary masterpiece or anything like that. This is the Red Canyon Visitor Center parking lot. Technically, it is no overnight camping or parking. But in reality, we have nowhere else to go. You saw how muddy the legal camping area was. And I think we're just gonna risk. I mean, we're not bothering anybody. The visitor center is seasonally closed. And if we get a knock at 10 p.m., well, we'll go someplace else. I'll try to get some work done and find out if the area we want to visit next is like this, full of snow. Because if it is full of snow, there's no point in going there. See you tomorrow. Good morning. It is 25 degrees out here. Very, very frigid. Yeah. Well, we're gonna spend a couple hours here, and then we're going to Escalante. Let's make a quick breakfast. Good morning, almost afternoon. It's past 11 a.m. I believe, mountain time. It was a quiet night here at Red Rock Canyon. We've spent most of the morning getting some work done. Now, there's patchy snow everywhere, but I'm gonna see if I can go for a little hike. What an amazing place this is. Even though we've been in this area before, I have never really taken the time to appreciate Red Canyon. Nearby, Bryce Canyon gets all the attention, but this is quite remarkable as well. We're going to start with the Hoodoo Loop Trail, a third of a mile, just to warm up, but I am also tempted to do the 2.5 mile Pink Ledges. We'll see, because it is pretty muddy. The return part of the loop is really snowy, so we may make it a back and forth trail. And it is pretty muddy. Not muddy like what we did yesterday, whatever that was, but it's pretty muddy. And the views, the blue sky, this is spectacular. Look at that. I just love the contrast of the red rock against the blue sky. And since we are not gonna be able to do the Navajo Trail in Bryce National Park, I believe this might be the best consolation prize here. It's just less quantity, but equally beautiful. Yeah, the road is actually right there. And we checked this morning, Navajo Trail, which we wanted to do, is still closed due to snow. This is one of those never forget to look back occasions. Wow, that's amazing. It's getting a little snowy here. It's pretty hard packed. I have my ice cleats somewhere inside Minitini. I just don't know exactly where they are. This is it. This is pretty much the end. I must look where I'm walking, but that was a very short yet rewarding hike. Ponderosa Pine. It's beautiful. I thought about it and I'm gonna do another hike. Maybe not the whole thing. It's called Pink Ledges, and I think you're supposed to go up there. There may be a commanding view. The Pink Ledges. This one seems to be very snowy, but we'll see. There's supposed to be a guide with numbers, but too early in the season. Okay, Pink Ledges goes up. It's a huge network of trails here. Such great juxtaposition of green, pink, and blue. Here we have some stairs. As you probably know, not my favorite. Anyway, here we are, over 7,000 feet.
And while it is not like super high above sea level, you feel it. Oh my god, look at that. Let me zoom in. It's a beautiful view. Yeah, this is as far as I'm gonna go. You know, this wasn't even in the plan. And this is the thing. We want to leave, we want to depart in about an hour. So, yeah, we want to start heading back. Yeah, we still have about an hour left on this trail. Was I to continue? It's just a little too muddy and icy for comfort here. I mean, the portion that I did, totally worth it. Look at that. Yeah.
Ooh, what a view. And we're back. What a great hike to get the blood pumping. And now let's drive west. I'm going to attempt going into Bryce Canyon with the trailer in tow. Let's see how that works. We are now at higher elevation, about 8,000 feet, so naturally there's a lot more snow up here. We're going to stop by the North Campground because at this point I'm still kind of tempted to spend the night here, explore a little. Let's see. Sites 1 and 3 here seem to be unoccupied, but there's a lot of snow. Let's go all the way around and see what else there is. Actually, before we decide, we're going to go to one of the overlooks, see what the parking situation is. And as expected, it is not great. Even this early in the season, the park is pretty crowded, so I think we're just gonna continue and save Bryce for a future date.
Oh yeah, I was super tempted to stay here at the North Campground at that Site 1 because they didn't have too many trees, but it was a little off level. And then on Hitch, and maybe I'd be able to find parking a little easier, but tell you what, we're gonna continue with plan A. I had no idea Bryce was gonna be this snowed out. And on a positive note, it would have looked really cool. You know, all those hoodoos, you know, instead of, white instead of red. We might get a view to our right now as we continue on the Scenic Route 12 going east. And we'll find somewhere to camp near Grand Staircase-Escalante, which is one place. You know, we've been here to Bryce Canyon before, but we have not explored the Grand Staircase-Escalante as much. So that's the plan.
We're about to start going down the first step on this grand staircase formed by several layers of sedimentary rock, the last one being the Grand Canyon. Here on the right, we get a glimpse at some of the hoodoos in Bryce Canyon, which according to Wikipedia is not really a canyon but a collection of giant natural amphitheaters. Yeah, the more you know. There's a pullout, so might as well enjoy the view. We continue on Scenic Route 12, Destination Escalante. Now at 7,600 feet. We're finally arriving in Escalante. We don't have a reservation, but there's a couple of RV parks in town. One of them is bound to have something. This is Canyons of Escalante RV Park, and they have vacancy, so we're promptly going to unhitch and begin exploring. I want to backtrack a little bit because there was another campground we were considering, just outside of town. I just want to see what it looks like for future reference. This is called Escalante Petrified Forest State Park. Not bad. I really like these lakefront sites. Anyway, let's continue. Escalante seems like a really cool town. Can't wait to explore it a little more later. We're going to be here for 2 nights. There's a road I've been meaning to take for a long time here, and it is called Hole in the Rock Trail, BLM 200. It goes to several points of interest, some of them slot canyons like Zebra and Tunnel, which are currently flooded as of this filming, so we're not gonna be able to do those. But there's an area called Devil's Garden that we're going to be able to see. It is supposed to be a pretty well-maintained dirt road up to that point, but the road continues, allegedly all the way to Lake Powell.
Well, here we are. We've made it to Devil's Garden, and I'm gonna explore a little bit. There's a 4-mile trail that we're obviously not gonna do at 5 p.m. Maybe tomorrow we'll do some more trails. There's supposed to be an arch back here. I'm gonna look for it.
Pretty cool. It reminds me a little of Goblin Valley. The rock formations almost look like people.
Oh yeah, definitely worth the drive on that road. I'm losing my voice. I don't know, it must be the desert air. Oh yeah, very cool place. Totally worth the drive. The road wasn't as bad as we've been led to believe, actually. Perhaps not to bring the trailer, but totally doable. Look at the blue of that sky, the moon back there, all this juniper tree, and we're really all by ourselves here. There's no one else. No one wants to drive that road, I guess.
There certainly look like people, like a bunch of ETs. Check out the arch. I believe this one is called Metati. So delicate. And the moon happens to be at the perfect spot.
Wow, this is truly amazing. Probably the highlight of this whole trail. That arch right there. There's all kinds of rock formations back there.
Oh, there's another arch back there.
Best part, there's no one else here. We can have this all to ourselves. In other places, we've had to make a line, a long line to take a picture with one of these rock formations. Here, there's no one, except Ili and I.
It's a good pastime to imagine figures of humans or animals on these rocks, like ancient sculptures eroded by time. Interesting.
This is truly a hidden gem right here.
It is also fun to get lost wandering around all these rock formations, since there isn't one defined trail, but more like a maze. Here we have a secret waterhole, like a tinaja. One final look before we start heading back. We can see some faint stripes on these rocks.
Well, what can I say? I think this is the kind of beauty that you can only find in Utah or, this area of the American West. I don't know. It's so unique. And that road, right now it seems like they just finished maintaining it, so it's not too bad. But yeah, a sedan could probably pass it, just take it slow. Well, let's get back to Escalante. There's a pub. There's an Italian restaurant. There's a bunch of places. We'll find one.
Now that I know how it is, next time we come, we're going all the way to the Hole in the Rock by Lake Powell. But that takes several hours, and today we don't have the time. Nor are we prepared. are in the mood for a multi-hour dirt road drive. Besides, most of the cool stuff is at least partially flooded because of all the precipitation they've had. We're going to grab a bite at the pub. Johnny's, my new favorite Utah IPA.
That looks good.
I know, we could have walked.
Good morning. A great adventure awaits. Well, if you've been watching for a while, you know we've been through this area, Utah Highway 12, several times already. But most of those times we've just driven through. And there are so many hiking trails, so many things to see around here. That's kind of the plan for today. It's gonna be a great adventure, but first we have to put gas, and we're gonna get some energy bars and stuff, because we got some relatively long hikes today. Not long like all day hikes, but 5-6 miles, so we must be prepared. Let's do it.
We're going towards a section of Highway 12 known as the Hogback. So let's get fuel for Starship and our buddies, and continue. It is about 60 miles, a little over 20 minutes, so not too far. And this is just one of many hiking trails in this area. It is called Lower Calf Creek Falls, and it is about 6 miles round trip, and the All Trails app calls it moderate. I'm really looking forward to this one.
Alright, let's see if there's a day use fee. Free day use for holders of annual pass issued by America the Beautiful National Parks and Federal Recreation Lands. Yep.
I guess that's why they call it Interagency Pass.
You can barely see it, but apparently, if you have the America the Beautiful pass, you just display it and you don't have to pay the day use fee. I think we're on the right track. The creek. Caution. Crossing is extremely slippery. We won't be crossing it, but Starship could do it. Let's see the trail. Please sign register. Oh, this is icy. So we begin. Seems to be well marked, and we've got sunshine.
The sunshine is actually really welcome, because it is a little bit of a chilly morning here.
Well, so far, relatively easy trail. It is cold though, and we're a little underdressed, because I know when the sun starts shining, it's gonna get warmer. we are at number 2. Water forms canyons. Over millions of years, the creek has carved its way deeper and deeper. Well, here we have a little waterfall.
We're encouraged to look around and observe the wonders of water and wind at work. We're not even a mile in, and I can already tell this is going to be one of my top 10 best hikes.
Every once in a while, it's good to stop, admire the surroundings. Such a perfect weather day. I mean, it's a little chilly, but we're warming up. Here we have number 4, which talks about the Gamble Oak, which is these trees here.
Apparently, Gamble Oak is found in cool and shady locations in the high desert.
I hear water and birds.
I think that might be the Hogback up there.
Well, we are almost a mile in here in the trail. We haven't seen another soul this whole time. Not, it's kind of solitary. It's still the off season. We're warming up, and we know there's a couple ahead of us, but there's nobody else. Great solitude here. You can hear the water, you can hear the birds. And such perfect weather. Starting to warm up. Perched high above on canyon ledges are several granaries built by the ancient Fremont culture, which inhabited Utah. Well, I can't see them, but let me know if you do. Oh yeah, it's going up and down, but the scenery is getting better and better. Look at that.
This is getting better and better. Everywhere you look, in every direction. And if you noticed, this is just a journey. I'm hoping the destination will be equally impressive.
Number 6.
I thought number 6 would be more about the creek that we see here, but it is actually about the geologic history of the area and the Kayenta formations of Navajo sandstone, the predominant geologic layer here.
Well, let's see, number 7 here. Apparently the red rock color is caused by microbes who oxidize the iron and manganese found in the clay minerals to create this black to orange. Anyway, it looks like Mars, like a red planet. Number 8.
And here on the Navajo sandstone, like a mural, we have some ancient pictographs, kind of similar in shape to the petroglyphs we saw at Petrified Forest a few days ago.
the pamphlet doesn't say how old they are, or nobody knows what they really mean, but it's really cool to see. By the way, the difference, pictographs is painted and petroglyphs is actually carved. So amazing that it lasted all these years, unless it's newer than we think. Let's continue.
It would seem we are about halfway there, and the trail keeps going up and up and up.
The river's right down there.
Multicolored trees and multicolored rocks.
It's the river, or the creek actually. That's the Hogback up there.
This must be the strenuous part.
Well, it's starting to get hot, so we got rid of our hoodies. And contrary to what my t-shirt says, I did not forget to bring my hiking shoes. Oh, shoot.
Hi.
Hey, buddy.
Hi, how are you?
Hi. What are you doing here by
Hi.
yourself?
There's supposed to be another storage granary here, but I don't know what to look for. An illustration on the pamphlet would have been nice.
The water is so clear. Check that out. Are there fish in the water?
There, we've got some fish swimming upstream. That looks like an eye. This has been such a gorgeous hike, and the sun is now getting much higher in the sky.
Then is supposed to be a plant called horsetail. But I'm more interested in that eye that looks like an eye looking at us. Oh, and look at that behind us. Ooh.
Listen to the sound of silence.
That almost looks like a relief of an animal or something. Yeah, this is the horsetail they were referring to. Apparently they used to use them to scrub pots and pans. And I believe we have some of this at Pelicamp West. Yeah, there is a Pelicamp West, as you probably know by now. We are 2.15 miles in, so a little over a third of the way to the waterfalls.
That almost looks like a barcode on the wall. Should I scan it?
And this one is on the other side. Amazing. Coming up next, number 11. Well, apparently number 11 is all about listening. I hear the creek, but sometimes you hear birds. I don't hear birds right now, but such clear water. we're kind of seeing the same rocks, but from a different angle. You know, they look completely different. Well, those rocks in front of us are new, but we've been getting closer and closer. Look at it now. We are 2.58 miles in. Look at that. Look at that water. Be careful with the prickly pear. Yeah. That's incredible. Incredible universe. All of a sudden, it's getting cold here in the shade at the bottom of the canyon. This has to be top 10, if not top 5 best hikes. Well, I kind of always say that, but in this one it's really something else. Could this be naturally occurring? It doesn't look naturally occurring to me. We are 2.97 miles in, so we should be fairly close. Well, here we go, exactly 3 miles in, and we see the waterfall through the trees. Yes, this is the culmination of our hike. And some hikes are more about the journey than the destination. Some are more about the destination than the journey. This one has been both, actually. Great reward at the end of the 3 miles, which felt a little longer than 3 miles just because of the elevation change and all that. But so glad we did it. Now we're gonna have a snack and start heading back. Amazing.
It's starting to get crowded here.
Well, this is the wet part. Go on this side.
It is here that we begin the return hike. 3 miles down, 3 to go. A little slippery here. Very soothing to be standing here by the creek. And I almost feel like jumping in.
This is incredible. Let's continue.
The return trip is mostly downhill, but you do have a few of these uphill stretches.
Yeah, about a mile in. Back. So we have like 2 miles to go. Breaking a sweat here.
This is the area with the rainbow-colored plants. Probably, besides the actual waterfall, the most striking part of this whole hike. Looking towards the Hogback, which we're gonna drive tomorrow, and look at all those holes on the rock. What a great hike this has been, but we still have a little bit to go.
And we have made it. We have made it back. Pavement. Let's see how many people came after us.
Remember how this was frozen this morning? Well, it is hot now.
Oh, lots of people. Here we are.
As you can probably imagine, after those 6 miles, we're hungry, and there's a restaurant in town famous for their pizza. So that's where we're going next. But first, we're going to stop at this scenic turnout. That sure looks like the area we just came from. We're going to have pizza. We came to this place called Escalante Outfitters. We're having my new favorite Utah IPA.
Oh, after that wonderful hike, an IPA is in order.
and their famous pizza. That was one of the most delicious and different original pizzas I've ever had. That was amazing.
Well, after that epic trail and that epic pizza, we're gonna do another epic trail, but this one is of the driving kind. It's called Hell's Backbone, I believe. Let's see how it is.
The sign says Hell's Backbone is impassable right now, but still, let's see how far we can get. We're slowly gaining elevation and the road is getting progressively worse, with some deep ruts. This may not have been such a good idea after all. We're starting to spin here a little bit, so I'm just going to turn around. Even Starship has its limits, and I don't want to get stuck in the middle of nowhere. I guess when they say it is impassable, they mean it. If there's a lesson to be learned from this trip, there's a reason why some of these areas are so seasonal. Weather, and after heavy snow and snow melt, some roads become a muddy mess. We're too early. Had we come a month later, everything would have been hunky-dory. Still, I'm not complaining. Today was a wonderful day. And now we have an excuse, if we ever needed one, to return to Escalante.
Well, good morning. Hell's Backbone, what an epic fail that was. But that's what happens when you are here too early in the season. Escalante, great vibe, great town. We're gonna come back probably next year, I'm thinking. We're only like 4 hours away from Pelicamp West or something like that. I mean, as the crow flies, we're really close, but there's the Grand Canyon in between. Now we're going towards Torrey. We're gonna make a couple of stops along the way, and we're gonna spend 2 nights in Torrey because we're heading towards the Capitol Reef area. So
take the next right onto South 500 West, then turn right onto Utah 12 East.
Enjoy the ride because we're going on the Hogback.
Now we're getting to the good part. Every time I've done this road, I try to stop at that scenic turnout. And I thought today I was going to have my chance. That's the Calf Creek Falls Trailhead down there as we approach the Hogback. Here we are. Let's take a break.
Well, yeah, that canyon down there, that's where we did our hike yesterday. And this stretch of road is called the Hogback. For one reason, is because you have precipice on both sides of the road. Like on this side, here. We also have this sheer cliff, I don't know, probably 1,000 feet down. So Yeah, it is very unique. Let's see the view from this other vantage point. And the waterfall that we saw should be right down there. Somewhere in that direction.
From here, we get to see the area we hiked yesterday. We may even be able to see the trail. Yep, that's the trail. Now wait a minute. We have a drone and this is BLM land. Let's see all this from a different perspective. We can now clearly see the trail and the creek. And check it out, the waterfall, like you've never seen it before. It looks like there is no one down there now. Let's try and get a little closer, but not too close. Now let's take a look and appreciate where we are. The Hogback. This narrow ridge with sheer cliffs on both sides. What an incredible place to be in this world. Just as we're about to leave, we get a visit.
Traveling Robert, how the heck are you?
I'm doing great. How are you, sir?
Good, I'm John Faber and my wife
John.
Gail. We met you in Tampa.
There you go. It's a small world after all. The Hogback, an engineering marvel for sure. And that's it. We're done with the Hogback. Now approaching a town called Boulder. Let's stop at the Scenic Pullout. Oh, that was a pretty big drop.
We are in Boulder.
All of a sudden, it is a winter wonderland as we approach Boulder Mountain Pass at 9,600 feet. Final destination today, Torrey, Utah, which is the other terminus of Scenic Route 12. Sorry, the front camera malfunctioned, but we still have the two sides. When we arrived at the RV park, which by the way, it is the only one open in town this early in the season, we're informed that the water is turned off due to cold weather, which is really disappointing. We were looking forward to a long shower. Anyway, he let us fill up at the front, but that is no substitute for full hookups.
Well, here we are. Not having access to water is certainly not ideal. Had we known, we would have stayed at BLM land, to be honest, because we could run the generator and have power. But it is what it is. I mean, for what we paid here, you know, the idea was to have a long shower, and now that is not gonna happen. I mean, there's a lot of snow on the ground still, and the reason he's saying that it's, you know, he's turning off the water is because it's gonna get colder tonight. But it's gonna be 32 tonight. It's gonna be 36 tomorrow night. So maybe he's being overly cautious. Anyway, we're gonna go into Capitol Reef and find out what's going on.
But first, we have some Alaskan halibut. Salt, pepper, some frozen onions and peppers, let's add some garlic. By the way, no recipe, I'm totally improvising this. I don't think I've put cooking wine on fish before, or tomato sauce. But if I put cayenne pepper, oregano, and cumin, I'm sure it's gonna be good. Oh, and smoked paprika.
I don't think halibut has ever been cooked this way, but it looks good. Hopefully it tastes as good.
On the next one, we're visiting Capitol Reef. Until then, thank you so much for watching, and see you on the road. Riding